In today's notes, we're going to be solving rational equations. And again, by rational, I mean fractions. So these are equations that involve fractions. And to do this, to solve an equation with a bunch of fractions in it, we need to use the least common multiple. And remember, the least common multiple if I can fit it, is the smallest multiple two or more terms have in common. Right? So it's the smallest number everything goes into, basically. So for example, the first pair here, 1/2 and 1/3, we're going to look at the denominators of these fractions, 2 and 3, and the least common multiple here would be 6 for those two denominators. And for something with variables like 4x and 12, well, between 4 and 12, the least common multiple is 12 because 4 goes into 12 and so does 12. And then because of that x, we have to put an x on our least common multiple. So that would be 12x. Now what we do with this to solve equations involving a bunch of fractions is we essentially want to get rid of all the denominators. We cancel them out by multiplying each term by the least common multiple of those denominators. So for the first example, we have 3, 6, and 18 in the denominator. Well, the least common multiple there is 18. All right, so we're going to multiply each term in this equation by 18. Well, so 18 times 1/3, and remember, to multiply a fraction by a whole number, we multiply by the top and divide by the bottom. So 18 times 1 divided by 3 is 6. It can be easier to divide first. For example, on the second term, 18 times 5 is a pretty big number, but I can divide first. 18 divided by 6 is 3, and 3 times 5 is 15. And then on the last one, 18 divided by 18 is 1, and 18, then 1 times x is just x. So here, x equals whatever 6 plus 15 is, which is 21. For example B, we have 8, 4, and 2 in our denominators. So the least common multiple there is 8. I'm going to multiply everything by 8. Well, 8 divided by 8 is 1, times 14 is 14. 8 divided by 4 is 2, times x is 2x. And 8 divided by 2 is 4, times 4 is 16. And then we just solve this two-step equation. Minus 14. We get 2x equals 2. So that means x equals 1. For example C, we've got 5, 15, and 30 in our denominator. The least common multiple there is 30. 30 is the smallest number all of those go into. So 30 times 1/5, that's 30 divided by 5 is 6. 30 divided by 15 is 2, times x is 2x. And 30 divided by 30 is 1, times 18 is 18. And again, we've got a two-step equation to solve. Subtract 6. So 2x equals 12, which means x equals 6. Now, when you've got variables involved, it kind of works the same way. Now, here we've got x minus 3 and 6. Now, I could multiply those together and distribute and get 6x minus 18. But it's going to be a lot more useful for me if I leave it in sort of this factored form. The least common multiple here is 6 times x minus 3. Just like two numbers, you can multiply them together to get the least common multiple, or a common multiple, but this is the least common. Now, if I leave it separated like this, it becomes a little easier to multiply by each term. Because, for example, if I'm going to multiply this first term by 6 times x minus 3, I know that those x minus 3's are just going to cancel out because x minus 3 divided by x minus 3 is 1. So if I leave it in this factored form, I can more easily see that the x minus 3 parts will cancel out, and I just have 6 times 2, which is 12. And in the second term, the 6's will cancel out, and what I have left is 10 times x minus 3 equals, and then again, the x minus 3 parts will cancel out, and I just have 7 times 6, which is 42. So what this equation actually is 12 plus 10x minus 30 equals 42 if I distribute that. And then if I combine some like terms, I've got 10x minus 18 equals 42, which is just a two-step equation. Add 18. So 10x equals 60, and so x equals 6. Almost ran out of room there. Oh, let's try that exact same thing again. We've got 14 and x minus 7. And again, if I leave that in sort of a factored form, then I can pretty easily see that when I multiply 14 times 4 over x minus 7, the x minus 7's cancel out. And so I'm really just doing 14 times 4, which is 56. Plus, and here again, the 14's cancel out, and I've got 12 times x minus 7 equals, and then here, the x minus 7's cancel out, 14 times 10 is 140. So we can then simplify a little bit. This equation is 56 plus 12x minus 84 equals 140, which if we combine like terms, that's 12x minus 28 equals 140. We'll add 28. So 12x equals 168. And if you divide by 12, we get x equals 14. If you have fractions to deal with in your equations, just multiply all the terms by the least common denominator. To cancel out those denominators, make your fractions into whole numbers or complete terms, and then solve.